you want to make sure that you buy a watch, right? Not only that you can afford. What's going on, everybody? My name is Vince, and today we're going to be talking about the best watches for military members. Now, to start off, there's many different reasons as why people wear watches. Some people wear them as a status symbol, others wear them as an accessory, and others wear them because they simply need to know the time. In the military, making timelines and knowing what time of day it is pretty crucial. So now when you think about watches and you think about military, for a lot of us, the first thing that comes to mind is G-Shock. First watch we're going to be talking about, and a watch that I've really come to love and enjoy, and I find myself wearing it a lot of times, is the G-Shock GD 350 in black resin. Now this watch isn't your most basic G-Shock ever, right? To start off, you'll have the day, the date, and obviously a really accurate time. It's a digital watch, right? So for watch collectors, a lot of people, they steer clear of the digital watches. But when we're talking about strictly for military purposes, and even for anyone in general, if you like the watch, you should wear it. Don't let anybody else tell you it's not a good watch. If you like it, then it's a good watch. And a really nice thing about this watch is this button right here on the side. If you click start, it immediately starts your timer without having to function through the modes or lose the ability to tell the time. You can find this watch for around $95 retail. Now, if even that is out of your price range, right? Because it's an important part of buying watches is price range, right? For some people, they can go out and they can afford a $12,000 Rolex and they can wear it to the field and be okay with it. But for a lot of us, right, we're not really comfortable, right, with spending that much money to mess the watch up. And that brings up a very good point that I want to hit, is that you want to make sure that you buy a watch, right? Not only that you can afford, but that you're willing to let it get scratches or get a little beat up. That brings us to our second watch, the G-Shock DW 9052. You find this watch for around $60 retail, and it's one of those G-Shocks that have really become a staple. It's just a really simple watch, and it just does what you need it to do, and it could take a beating. I've heard so many stories about this watch. Me in particular, I've had this watch since boot camp, and I've worn it quite frequently, and it's held the test of time. And again, it just does what you need it to do, right? It tells you the day, the date, again, really accurate time because it's a digital watch, and you have multiple settings, such as you have multiple alarms that you could set, you have a timer, and you have a stopwatch. So really everything you can ask for in a watch when it comes to the military setting. Those of you out there are looking for a watch that's durable, you can kind of beat up on it, and it's going to stay reliable, but it also has kind of that luxury feeling. And this next watch is one that when I've had to kind of get dressed up a little bit in a work setting, that I found myself going to. And that's going to be the G-Shock GM 2100, also nicknamed the Casio. And this watch, it still has just as much durability as the other ones, but it just has a little bit slightly more of a luxury look, right? It doesn't go over the top with its looks, but you can get away with maybe being in a polo shirt and some slacks and still look very professional. Now, the one thing about this watch, it doesn't have the date, but what you do have is the day. Now, these watches are very customizable as well. That's one of the good things about it, right? If you want to take this rubber band off and maybe put on a stainless steel band or a different color rubber, you can. And this particular one goes for about $250 retail, but you could definitely find some of their less expensive variants for around $100. Now, this next watch is not only a budget option to where you don't have to worry about it getting beat up, and if something happens to it, it's easy to replace, but it also kind of, in a way, a little bit of nostalgia with it because it's something that they used to wear back in the day, but it also still looks good today, and that's going to be the Timex Expedition. Now, what I'll say about this watch, right, for the price range, it is extremely durable. It's a watch that I've worn almost daily recently, right? It comes in a nice green canvas strap. One of the biggest vantage points of this watch is its price range at about $50 retail. Now, this next watch is going to kind of cover for those who want a watch that's durable, that can get banged up, be reliable, but also have a little bit of luxury to it. I've always wanted a watch where it's as reliable as a G-Shock or pretty darn close to it, but has that luxury feel. And for me, that first watch is going to be the Luminox Pacific Diver in either 39 millimeters or 44 millimeters. Now, this specific one I have here is probably a little bit too flashy in uniform, but they come in many different variants with different dial colors, with different bands, right? And that's another great thing, is that this watch is very versatile, and pretty much any band you want to put on it, you can. If you throw this on a NATO strap or a stainless steel strap, it's going to look great regardless. And it's one of those ones where you can put it on and you don't have to worry about scratching it, damaging it in any type of way. This is a quartz watch, right? So we haven't gotten into the more reliable automatics yet. It's still a quartz watch, but it's still very accurately tells the time and keeps the date. This watch retails from anywhere from $250 to upwards of $700, depending on which variant you're looking to get. Now that we've gotten into kind of the diver category of watches, that more luxury feel, the next watch I'm going to talk about is the Seiko 5 Sports. Right, so this is one of the most affordable options that Seiko has to offer in its dive category, that gives you that awesome luxury feel without having to worry about what if I scratch this watch because I spent all this money on it. And this watch retails for about $250, and this is the first watch we've talked about that's automatic, and we'll get into that in future videos, the difference between quartz and automatic and all the other types of watches. But it's going to be a really reliable, really accurate, and the great thing about this watch is when you're out in the field or the middle of the day, you don't have to worry about your watch dying. Now the last watch I really want to talk about, right, we're not going to get too into watches above the $1,000 mark or whatever, just because the reality of it, the majority of service members aren't going to be willing to spend that much money on a watch. But the last one I want to talk about is the Seiko Samurai, specifically the Save the Ocean. That's currently what I have on my wrist here. I have it on an orange rubber band, but it does come factory with a stainless steel band that looks really well in uniform, and it's not too flashy. It has that black dial. It has great lume. And like I said, a really accurate watch that's automatic, and it's 100% worth every penny. And so yeah, that pretty much rounds out what I have for you guys today. Let me know what watches you wear to work down in the comment section below, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time.